Hey, how you doing, everybody? It's me, 21 Savage, back with another Minecraft video. A brand new and exciting, potentially game-changing game mode. A clever, then sneaky turtle life hack that you could start taking advantage of right now. And even more exciting updates on the brand new, much improved inventory system. We've got it all right here today. In this week's news recap snapshot part 2 thing, there's only one spot we can begin, and that's with the biggest story of all time. Maybe. Today's story begins this past weekend, except it kind of doesn't. The story actually begins in a much warmer time, last summer. Picture this, you're me. Your back is hurting, like excruciatingly, from carrying lobby after lobby in Modern Warfare 2. Oh, it's great. It's really fun, loving it. In between carrying lobbies to relieve some of that back pain, you're on Twitter, just scrolling, and scrolling. Suddenly, wait, what's that? Oh, another one. Oh, another one. Oh no. Day in the life. Okay, so I think it was like Friday or something. I was tagged on something on Twitter that is very, very interesting that somehow I completely missed up until this point. I looked around on YouTube a little bit and it seems like almost everybody else missed it too. So you heard it here first. A tweet from Smokey Stack. Newest Minecraft preview contains these snippets. It seems editor mode is really close for Bedrock. Wait a second. What's editor mode? Links to my previous tweets, TLDR. World Edit for Bedrock. World Edit for Bedrock Edition. That's insane. Look, it's not a Java Bedrock or anything like that. I know they've made a lot of improvements and whatever, but as a Java player, the big reason this development shocks me is because, at least to me, when I think about technical things in Minecraft and, stuff like that, I think of Java Edition because, I don't know, like, I mean, for starters, we have this screen right here. How much more technical can you get, right? You have technical things going on over on Java Edition for, like, the longest time. The news of World Edit, or at the least something like pretty similar to it, actually making it to the vanilla game, that's kind of insane. Let's go back to last summer. Last summer, June 15th, 2022, shortly after the Wild update release, like a week after, newest Minecraft preview contains these snippets. Seems like more work is being done with toolbox mode, or should I say editor mode. The UI files are tweaked for editor mode. So that's interesting, but it could get a little bit more interesting. Back on June 15th, somebody else asked, what's editor mode? Can anyone explain? Something that has been teased from the game file since 2020. Yeah, I lied. Our story doesn't begin last summer. Our story begins 2 years ago. Hey, almost 3. Whoops. I'm no expert when it comes to digging through the game files on Bedrock, so I guess take it with a relative grain of salt, but I'm pretty sure this stuff is legit, guys. Checking out the pictures on the first tweet from this past summer, I mean, it's like a lot of technical stuff. Definitely things that you would expect to see within the game files. But then there's this image, which is, I'm assuming, like basically how this thing is going to work. Let's rewind a little bit. World Edit or editor mode, what is it? So just in case you're out of the loop or something, World Edit is a very, very popular mod for Java Edition. I think it's been around for like 10 years or something, really, really long time. Essentially, with this mod, we can take chunks of the world, like let's say, maybe the chunk of the world that's inside of this box right here, and I could, like, change it, like, way easier than having to use commands or structure blocks or anything like that. I mean, it seems like it's gonna be pretty similar, if not, maybe even better and easier to use. Next tweet, October 26, 2022. Newest Minecraft contains these snippets. Seems like more work is being done to editor mode. Technical, and a little bit more technical. Guys, I'm still shocked. I'm just still shocked that something like World Edit could be implemented in the vanilla game. And potentially really, really soon too. Like being able to reshape mountains easily. 100% vanilla. Oh, that's insane. Newest Minecraft preview contains these snippets. It seems editor is really close for Bedrock. Now, I believe all of this could be found in last week's preview, but even more technical stuff, even more... Ooh. Oh. That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. I mean, check this out. You get this pop-up when you get like a new feature in the game and that other picture, like, right? It could totally be right there, right? Found inside of the latest preview, which is going to be 1.19.50.23. So we've got a thread of videos. These videos are basically like how to use this brand new editor mode thing. Now, this editor mode, unfortunately, right now, is only coming to Bedrock Edition, but that's kind of not all. I mean, I'm sure it'll be coming to, like, all the versions of Bedrock Edition, but is heavily favored and geared towards a version of Bedrock Edition that uses a keyboard and mouse. So, like, PC, but Bedrock. And these videos showcase that exactly. Obviously, we've got a mouse here in the image moving something around, clicking and dragging, and then we have a keyboard for different shortcuts and hotkeys and, you know, things like that. So, these are all really just controls. I mean, it's interesting for sure, but, like, maybe not the most interesting thing. We won't fixate on it for too long, but, like, overall, it does seem pretty easy to use, too. Like, they're using shift, and it looks like the arrow keys or something to do stuff. Then we've got, like, buttons at the top, maybe to, like, copy and paste, you know, things like that. And then even more buttons on the side. Again, maybe to, like, copy and paste, and, I don't know, things like that. Checking out Dark Gamer's Twitter, we have one final tweet for this topic today, and that's going to be this thing right here. Has anyone ever thought how would the editor mode look like? This is an older version of that UI.
Interesting.
This doesn't feel like Minecraft at all, but I mean, I'm not complaining. That's nice looking. A brand new game mode making its way over to Minecraft very soon. However, as of this point in time, we only know for sure that it's coming to Minecraft Bedrock Edition. But here's the thing, at least for me. Nowadays, with the devs fixating so heavily on feature parity and then, you know, making things the same, everything like that, would they go through the trouble of adding some kind of massively useful feature on one version of the game, like only one, and then just skipping out on the other one? But not only skipping out on it, like instead taking inspiration from the mods over on that version of the game and just porting them over to the vanilla version of the other game. I really hope they're not going to do that, but I mean, I guess we'll see. Only time can tell. No matter what, this is kind of huge news for Bedrock Edition because this is highly technical stuff, and it's obviously like something that's never been done before, and seemingly done so easily too. It's kind of funny to me that potentially we could see a brand new game mode introduced to Bedrock Edition before Hardcore, before Amplified, before anything like that, but I mean, I guess that's beside the point. I want to send a big shout out to Smokey Stack and Dark Gamer on Twitter for this one because it seems like they've been following this for a long time, and obviously all of the tweets, like, that's literally how I showed this off. So if you want to follow the story, maybe follow them. And if you want to follow even more stories in general, then maybe follow me. As in like and subscribe. Subscribe and you'll get good luck forever. Anyways, next up, let's talk a little bit more about the inventory. I'm sure in tomorrow's snapshot, which, by the way, I will be making a video on. Anyways, I'm sure in tomorrow's snapshot, we'll talk a little bit more about this, but a big change is coming to this inventory. Do you see this tab right here, known as crafting? Well, I'm calling it. This is going to change to materials, maybe tomorrow. Also, do you see this tab right here, redstone blocks? As we talked about in last week's snapshot video, we've got the operator blocks in here. I'm calling it structure blocks being added to this thing soon. I mean, after all, structure void, jigsaw block. Where is the structure block? Now, I might have an additional source on that one on Twitter, and that source may or may not be a developer, but anyways, I saw an interesting comment talking about missing spawn eggs. So, obviously, in last week's snapshot, we had a couple new spawn eggs. We've got the golem ones inside of the inventory, and then we've got commands for the wither and the ender dragon. What about some of the other mobs in the game that don't have spawn eggs? Like, wait a second, why did you do that? Dude, chill. Anyways, we've got a couple other missing spawn eggs. So we've got some interesting ones that maybe would never get a spawn egg because they're not really used, like the giant or maybe the illusion or whatever. Also the zombie horse, not really used, but what about the brown mushroom? I mean, sure, on one hand, it is like a variant to the mushroom, kind of like a different color of the sheep, and, you know, there's no like red sheep spawn egg or whatever, but like, if you didn't know about the brown mushroom from like a YouTube video or something, then there's a good chance you would literally never know this thing is in the game. I wonder if it'll get a spawn egg too. This is a point that I saw quite a few of you making in the comments of last week's snapshot video, like this one right here. Illusion or spawn eggs and zombie horses and such. Yeah, it's an interesting idea. I gotta talk about the mob spawner change because I'm sorry, I'm like obsessed with it. I didn't get to talk about it as much in last week's snapshot video because I was kind of like tight on time, but like building ideas with a spawner block. I went to the lab for you lads, laddies, everybody, and I've come out of the lab with 5 building ideas for the spawner. Check out last week's snapshot video for even more information on how this thing changed and what's new with it, because honestly, a lot has been changed, but build ideas. First things first, this one. Talked about it a little bit last week, but I love it. I'm obsessed with it. Obviously, these are going to be creative game mode build ideas, but use it as a window on some kind of giant, dark, evil castle. That's a chef's kiss moment. Certified. Okay, so check this out. It appears that we have a ceiling up here, like very big and expansive ceiling, right? Yeah. And then from the ceiling, we have a spawner on a chain. Time is set midnight, boom. In creative, if you're building in creative, you have access to every single block in the game, including the light block. Maybe put a spawner hanging from a chain on the ceiling, put a light block near it, and you got some kind of cool, interesting looking chandelier. Building in creative can be really fun, but sometimes it can be kind of like overwhelming. You know, there are so many blocks, you could use them all. Maybe you don't know what to do with your floor. Well, look at this floor right here. You've got chains all over the floor. It's like the chain, but like literally in a block form. I think that's what I love about this thing so much. Like the chain is easily one of the more interesting looking items in the entire game. You take that chain, turn it into a block, and then put it on the floor. Put something dark below it, or really any color that'll show through a little bit. Yeah, that's a great idea too. Speaking of lights, check this one out. We've got a spawner attached to some fences with some lanterns. That's a fancy city light. And then finally, for 5 quick building ideas with this thing, a fence. A simple cemetery fence, or really just a fence for anything. You can pair it with iron bars, but this proved an interesting point to me. So the chain, it's made out of iron. The spawner, I mean, maybe it's made out of iron. The iron bar, clearly made out of iron too. We have 2 completely different like color sets of iron going on. We've got the dark chains, and then we've got the lighter bars. Huh? Should these be changed, guys? If you're messing with the spawner, here's a little life hack for you. I found this while messing around with the spawner after last week's snapshot video. So here we have a spawner, we place it out, nothing's inside of it. We use the spawn egg on it, now the dolphin's inside of it. It's a dolphin spawner, and that's terrible news. But anyways, dolphin spawner. If we go ahead and use the pick block button on the spawner, I know it actually works, but it gives us a normal spawner. If we go ahead and copy the NBT data with it, which is control and pick block, then we get a brand new spawner, and check this out. It tells us inside of this menu what that spawner is actually for. A small but interesting life hack. Again, speaking of life hacks, the perfect segue. Let's talk about the turtle. For this one, we take a trip back into the past. And by trip into the past, I mean back to current day, 1.19.2. In Minecraft 1.19.2, let's say I found 2 turtles. We have a turtle right here, and please come back. All right, now we've got a turtle right there, we've got a turtle right there. Go ahead and give them seagrass, both of them. They're gonna look at each other romantically, and then they're gonna do the thing, and then one of them's gonna try and lay some eggs. If we go ahead and give them a little bit of time, we should be able to do it eventually. All right, so there we go. The turtle has laid some eggs, clearly. And now all I need to do is give seagrass to the other turtle, and just wait. Now that I've given seagrass to that other turtle, they went ahead and bred again, and then this one is actually gonna try and lay even more eggs without any delay at all. And that's it. That's the entire life hack. Check this out. This turtle, it just laid another egg right there. If only there were a channel for short life hacks, like multiple times a week, and other cool things. Oh wait, maybe there is. Moving on, almost last and almost least today, let's talk about the sounds. Listen up here, okay?
Listen.
Yeah. So the difference here is we can hear sounds when we're walking on all of these things. This is actually a bug fix, or a bunch of them. I'm 100% sure that a lot of these sounds are just old sounds, like walking on wool. That's not a new sound or anything like that, but the lily pad, I mean, I don't walk on a lily pad every day, but is that new? That one is maybe new. Walking on the smallest version of amethyst, walking on these things, glow lichen as well, those are all old sounds. You can just hear them now. But again, the lily pad, this is so interesting. When I was sailing around in the water here, I mean, that break sound. When did that change? Like, that sounds so good. It's way less, like, intense, right? This is so interesting. This is, like, the best thing from today's video, right? Yeah, hands down, it's pretty great. If you want to stay up to date with all of this great information, definitely make sure you subscribe. It's snapshot season, and honestly, because they're doing snapshots differently, I think like every part of the year is now snapshot season, which is like this new development cycle stuff. It's literally meant for me. Like they changed it, I'm pretty sure, especially for me in this channel. So yeah, subscribe. Stay up to date every single week with cool videos, life hacks, cool tricks, and sometimes a little bit of misinformation as well. So game rules. In last week's snapshot, we got some new game rules. One of the game rules I'm kind of obsessed with. Game rules, no accumulation height. By default, it's set to 1, but we can go ahead and raise that to 8. If we raise it to 8, then go ahead and make it snow or rain. Then snow is going to accumulate differently. We'll see if we can notice it here, but basically snow can start to pile up a little bit more. In the snapshot video, I talked about maybe snow being able to pile up even more into like a solid block and then do it again. I don't think that is going to happen. If you have snow layers pile up to one solid block, somehow the game knows that it's done. However, if you're building with snow blocks, snow will definitely still pile up on top of it, as you can see here. That makes me think though, and I want to know what you think about this. Should rain and snow be split into two separate weather patterns? This would make it so, you know, we can see like more snow or snow happening in separate biomes where it doesn't usually happen. I mean, of course it would still like never snow in some biomes, like the savannah, way too hot for snow, right? But like, I don't know. What do you think? Let me know what you think about that down below, and maybe about that new game mode too. When it comes to Minecraft 1.20 news, updates, game modes, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Big thank you to my patrons for the support. Louisiana Vader, Austin V, Tanner B, Andrew H, and Gabriel Y. Appreciate you. Snapshot day should indeed be tomorrow. I'll see you then. Thank you so much for watching. It's been Waddles. Goodbye, everyone.